Prison food. The shocking truth of what inmates really eat bread spoon. This is the most hated meal in America. It's called Nutraloaf, a brick of mystery ingredients so foul, so controversial. It's been banned in several states and yet still quietly served in others. Close-up of a mushy beige brick. Steam rises. Flies circle. An inmate pushes it away with disgust. But Nutraloaf is only one part of a much bigger, darker story. Because today, we're taking you inside a hidden world that millions of people never see. A world where food is used as punishment, where meals cost less than dog food, and where what inmates eat can mean the difference between staying sane or breaking completely. From moldy meat to mystery juice, from rat-infested kitchens to scandal-covered vendors earning billions. This is a shocking truth of what inmates really eat inside America's prisons. Prison food, the shocking truth. And trust me, you'll never look at a cafeteria tray the same way again. Before we go deeper into this forbidden world of food systems, corruption, riots, and survival, go ahead and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Because what you're about to learn, no prison wants exposed. The tray begins. Every prison story begins with the same thing. The tray. Steel. Plastic. Divided into squares. It looks harmless. But in here, that tray decides everything. An empty tray means punishment. A full tray means routine. A contaminated tray could start a riot. A missing tray? Someone's in trouble. To understand prison food, we need to understand how it's built. And it all starts with two numbers. 95 cents per inmate. 3 meals a day. That's the average food budget in some U.S. prisons. Less than $1 per person, per day. And the results? Exactly what you imagine. Inside the kitchens, imagine this. You walk into the prison kitchen expecting stainless steel and order, but instead, you see peeling paint, rusted pipes, roaches sprinting across flour bags, and steam kettles older than the officers watching them. In some prisons, inmates are the cooks. In others, outside vendors supply everything. But the conditions? Often the same. Crowded, chaotic, and unsanitary. Former inmate Marcus, reenacted. Sometimes the meat would come in gray. Not frozen. Just gray. You didn't ask questions. You just cooked it. Another inmate, Tobias. If milk expired, they'd mix it with fresh milk and hope no one noticed. Spoiled eggs? Same thing. You just prayed your stomach was stronger than whatever was inside that tray. And when the inspections happen, everyone knows when they're coming. The roaches disappear. The mold gets painted over. The rotten boxes get tossed. The kitchen suddenly becomes spotless for about 4 hours. After that, it goes back to normal. Breakfast, the real wake-up call. Breakfast in prison happens early. Very early. Sometimes 4 a.m. And the menu is almost always the same. A scoop of watery oatmeal. A slice of stale bread. A carton of milk that may or may not be expired. And if you're lucky, a boiled egg. To most inmates, breakfast isn't even a meal. It's a countdown. A reminder that they have 12 hours until the next real chance at calories. Former inmate, Dev. The oatmeal wasn't oatmeal. It was glue, like someone heated water and threw sawdust in it. But breakfast also serves another purpose. Control. If the staff wants obedience, keep breakfast predictable. If the staff want to punish, make it worse. Swap fresh bread for hardened ends. Serve colder portions. Cut the milk. It's a quiet language. A system inmates learn quickly. The mystery hour. Lunch is where things get unpredictable. Some days you get beans. Other days, you get mystery meat. And trust me, that's not a nickname. That's the official term inmates use. Picture a patty that could be beef, or pork, or turkey, or none of the above. It comes frozen in huge blocks labeled. Meat product, not for resale. Even staff don't always know what's inside. And the smell? Like wet cardboard dipped in old oil. Former inmate, read. If it bounced when it hit the tray, you knew it was mystery meat. But worse than the meat are the additives. Cheap fillers, starches, binders, things designed to save pennies, not to nourish. Dinner, the final battle. Dinner is the most important meal in prison. Not because it's good, but because it's the last chance for real calories before lockdown. For many inmates, it's the only thing that breaks the monotony of a long, exhausting day. But dinner inside the walls is rarely comforting. In fact, it often feels like a gamble. Cut to reenactment. An inmate stares at his tray. On it sits a strange lump covered in brown gravy that looks suspiciously like melted plastic. Some nights you get chili, a thick orange sludge that tastes the same no matter the ingredients. Other nights, you get a small scoop of rice and something they call meat crumble, former inmate jacks. Dinner was where they tried to hide everything. The leftovers, the rejects, the stuff too embarrassing to serve at lunch. And yet, dinner is where the emotional weight hits hardest. After this meal, you're locked in a cell for 12 to 14 hours. No snacks, no commissary, no extra calories, just your stomach and the silence. For many inmates, dinner isn't just nutrition, it's sanity. The special meals, now and then, usually on holidays. Prisons serve something called a special meal. On paper, it's meant to lift morale. Turkey on Thanksgiving, chicken quarters on Christmas, a cookie on New Year's. But what inmates actually get depends on the prison's budget, its leadership, and sometimes pure luck. Former inmate Shane, if the warden was in a good mood, you got real turkey. If not, you get some weird processed slab shaped like turkey. Cut to reenactment of inmates opening trays, some excited, some disappointed. And here's the darkest part. Special meals can spark riots. Hope is dangerous in places built on deprivation. If one unit gets a better meal than another, trouble. If the trays run out early, trouble. If the chicken quarters arrive half-cooked, serious trouble. In prison, morale is fragile. One bad meal can break it. The Nutraloaf nightmare. Now let's talk about Nutraloaf, the punishment meal, the one so controversial, so legally challenged, it has been banned in multiple states, but still quietly used in others. What is Nutraloaf? Everything the kitchen has left over, blended, baked into a brick, and served cold. Beans, veggies, bread crusts, oatmeal, condiments, sometimes pasta, sometimes rice, thrown together, mashed, and baked into something barely edible. Former inmate D. It was like someone tried to make food wrong on purpose. Nutraloaf isn't just nutritionally questionable. It's psychological warfare. You don't get seasoning. You don't get silverware. You don't even get sides. 1 brick, 2 bricks, 3 bricks a day. And if you refuse to eat it, too bad. It's the only thing you're getting until your punishment ends. Civil rights groups have argued that Nutraloaf is cruel and unusual punishment. Some states removed it quietly. Others defend it, saying it's nutritious. But inmates, they know the truth. No one deserves to eat this. When food becomes a weapon, food in prison isn't just food. It's power. It's manipulation. It's control. Corrections officers can indirectly punish inmates through undercooked meals, cold trays, tiny portions, withholding extras, serving meals late, giving spoiled items, and none of it leaves a paper trail. Former inmate Carlos. They never hit you. They didn't need to. They just give you the smallest spoonful and dare you to complain. To deprive food is to deprive comfort, energy, hope, and in overcrowded prisons where tensions run high, small humiliations can become sparks. Cut till reenactment. A tray is handed to an inmate. It has only 1 scoop of beans. Another inmate notices. The room goes quiet. In some prisons, inmates have refused trays in protest. Others have thrown them. Some units have staged hunger strikes. Why? Because hunger is the one pain even hardened criminals can't ignore. The food vendors, billions in the system. Behind every prison tray is a corporation. Most prisons don't cook everything in-house. They buy from vendors, massive companies that supply meals to schools, hospitals, and correctional facilities. Some vendors have been exposed for substituting cheap ingredients, delivering expired goods, diluting products to save money, charging full price for low-quality items, buying from the lowest bidders possible. But the most shocking part? The profits. Some vendors make billions supplying food to state prisons. And the cheaper the food, the bigger the profit margin. Cut to dark, moody visual of a semi-truck backing into a loading dock. When profit is the priority, quality becomes an afterthought. Prison kitchen scandals. Across the country, multiple prisons have faced scandals involving food. Some went viral. Others were buried. Examples include live maggots found in serving lines, mold-infested bread, rotten chicken stored with leaking trash bags, kitchen workers stealing fresh food meant for inmates, staff serving meals contaminated with rodent droppings, guards threatening inmates who complained. One of the most infamous cases involved a prison kitchen contractor whose employees were caught smuggling in contraband while serving food. Others were caught falsifying reports or delivering food labeled not for human consumption. Former inmate Leo: "We knew when something was off. The smell, the color, the taste. But you don't complain. You eat it, or you don't eat at all." When food sparks violence. In most prisons, violence doesn't start with fists. It starts with food. A cold tray, a missing portion, a rotten smell, a careless insult in the chow line. One small spark. In a room filled with hundreds of men or women who haven't tasted real freedom or real food in years is enough to ignite chaos. Cut till reenactment. A line of inmates shuffle forward. A tray is handed out with a noticeably smaller scoop of beans. The inmate glares. A guard shrugs. Another inmate murmurs, "Don't let him disrespect you." Tension spikes. In some prisons, inmates see food not just as nourishment, but as respect. Take that respect away, and you take away stability. The chow hall, the most dangerous room in prison. Correctional officers will tell you straight. The chow hall is one of the most volatile places inside any prison. Here's why. You have hundreds of inmates in one place. Sharp utensils. Yes, even plastic ones can be sharpened. Hot-headed gang hierarchies. Food scarcity desperation. Zero personal space. A fight in the chow hall can explode in seconds. Former CO Briggs: "If someone throws a tray, it's over. You hit the alarm and pray backup is close." Tray throwing is a symbolic act inside prison, a declaration that something is wrong. It's a warning, a message, sometimes a call to arms. Case study: the chicken riot. One of the most infamous food-related riots happened in 2013. A prison served undercooked chicken quarters. Bleeding, pink, dangerous. Word spread fast. Units erupted. Hundreds refused trays. Others threw theirs across the room. Fights broke out between inmates and officers, all because of one meal. In prison, dignity is limited. Take it away through food, expect violence. The commissary economy. Official prison meals might be awful, but commissary? That's the real economy inside prison walls. Instant ramen, honey buns, peanut butter, chips, tuna packets, summer sausages, instant coffee, and if you're lucky, a squeezed bottle of hot sauce. Small items, cheap items, but inside prison, these become currency. Ramen, the gold standard. For years, cigarettes ruled the prison economy, but today, the king is ramen. One pack of ramen can trade for a tattoo, a haircut, laundry service, extra workout time, protection, information, favors, even weapons. Former inmate Trell: "Ramen was like $5 in value. You could get anything for a couple soups." Honey buns, the luxury item. Honey buns have an almost mythical status in prison. They're sugary, calorie-dense, comforting, and in a world where comfort barely exists, honey buns can cause fights. Former inmate Rico: Someone steals your honey bun? That's personal. The black market. When commissary items become currency, a black market always forms. Some inmates hoard soups and resell them. Some steal from kitchen storage. Some have runners. Some run entire mini-economies out of their cells. In a place where official meals fail to keep people healthy, commissary becomes survival. And when commissary gets restricted, things get dangerous. Inmate cooking hacks. Despite the terrible conditions, inmates find ways to cook, not with stoves, not with ovens, but with creativity and desperation. The hot pot king. Some inmates buy cheap electric hot pots when allowed. They make jailhouse chili, ramen bowls stacked with meat sticks, glush mixes of chips, tuna, and hot sauce, coffee strong enough to keep the whole tier awake. But for those without hot pots, they get creative. The iron method. Inmates have been known to wrap food in plastic, smash it flat, and heat it using the metal bunk, a cell light fixture, even the hot water pipes. One former inmate cooked an entire grilled cheese using a clothing iron. Another baked a pizza using crackers, ketchup, and crushed chips, then warmed it with a homemade heating pad made from toilet paper and friction. The shower cooker. Yes, showers get hot enough to warm sealed bags of ramen, beans, or rice. Some units even have shower chefs who charge ramen or honey buns to heat meals for the whole tier. The trash bag method. The most legendary cooking hack is the trash bag boil. Ingredients go into a sealed bag. Then the bag is placed under extreme hot water, sometimes from a sink, sometimes from a shower, sometimes from a rigged heating element. After 20 to 40 minutes, a full meal, in a place where meals are usually punishment. This isn't just cooking. It's resistance. It's culture. It's survival. But there's a darker side to this underground culinary world. Food allergies, diets, and medical neglect. In prison, food allergies are a gamble. Medical diets are inconsistent. Religious diets are often ignored. And nutritional needs? Almost always overlooked. The allergy problem. Many prisons don't test for allergies. They simply rely on inmates to declare them. Even worse, some staff assume inmates are lying. Former inmate Wyatt. I'm allergic to peanuts. They gave me peanut butter 3 times in 1 week. I had to trade it away each time just to stay alive. In some cases, mistakes aren't accidents. They're punishments. The diabetic dilemma. Diabetic inmates are supposed to get special trays, but when budgets are tight, those trays shrink or disappear. A diabetic former inmate reported, they would give me syrup-soaked pancakes and tell me, eat around it. I almost passed out twice. The kosher and halal crisis. Many prisons claim to offer kosher or halal meals, but investigations found some kitchens reuse non-kosher trays. Some mixed utensils. Some substituted items without permission. Some lied about ingredients outright. For religious inmates, this isn't a preference. It's identity. And when identity is ignored, suffering grows. Vegans and vegetarians. Plant-based inmates, whether by belief or health, often get the worst trays of all. Plain pasta, overcooked beans, wilted vegetables, raw cabbage, stale bread. Sometimes a meal lacks protein entirely. Former inmate Sky. My vegan tray was basically sadness and lettuce. Malnutrition, the hidden crisis. The prison diet isn't just unpleasant, it's dangerous. Experts have long warned that inmates suffer from chronic malnutrition, often invisible to the outside world. Former inmate Eli. You could see in the guys who hadn't eaten properly in months. Hollow cheeks. Weak arms, people just fading away. Malnutrition doesn't just sap strength, it changes behavior. It magnifies aggression. It fuels despair. It can trigger depression, anxiety, and chronic illness. Hidden health impacts. Prison meals are high in sodium, processed starch, sugars, cheap oils, and low in vitamins, minerals, fiber, fresh fruits and vegetables. The result? weaken immune systems, digestive disorders, skin problems, heart issues, stunted recovery from illness or injury. Dr. Louise Grantham, nutrition expert. The diet in many U.S. prisons is shockingly poor. For long-term inmates, this isn't just unhealthy, it's actively damaging. Many suffer chronic deficiencies that could have been prevented with basic nutrition. Psychological toll. Hunger and malnutrition do more than hurt the body. They change the mind. Inmates report obsessive thinking about food, aggression over small portions, anxiety during mealtime, depression during lockdown. Former inmate Rico. Food is everything in prison. It's the one thing that can make your day better or ruin it completely. Starve an inmate mentally and they break. Solitary confinement and the starvation diet. Solitary confinement. The darkest part of prison life. The room is silent. The walls are bare. Time slows. And the food changes. Meals are often punitive. Cold, tasteless, minimal portions. The dreaded loaf, sometimes Nutraloaf. In some facilities, trays arrive hours late or missing. Former inmate Daryl. In solitary, food becomes punishment. You don't just feel hungry. You feel erased, forgotten, like you don't exist. Studies show that malnutrition in solitary can accelerate weight loss, muscle atrophy, fatigue, mental instability, and in extreme cases, death. The psychological weapon. Food in solitary is also a behavioral tool. Full tray equals compliance. Half tray equals warning. Missing tray equals punishment. Every bite is measured. Every calorie is leverage. Former inmate Marcus. It's not hunger. It's control. They control your body, your mind, your will through food. Inmate deaths linked to food. Some inmates never recover from the prison diet. Deaths tied to malnutrition, contaminated food, and medical neglect are more common than the public realizes. In one facility, inmates contracted foodborne illness that sickened dozens. 3 died. In another, lack of dietary accommodations for diabetes led to fatal complications. Solitary confinement combined with reduced meals has caused starvation-related deaths. Former COO Briggs. We know that some people never make it because of what they eat or don't eat. It's part of the system people don't want to talk about. And yet, these tragedies rarely reach headlines. The public sees statistics. Inmates see corpses. The dark history of prison food. The poor prison diet isn't new. Historically, food has always been a tool of control. 19th century penitentiaries served monotonous, punishing meals designed to instill obedience. Early 20th century prisons relied on leftovers and surplus from local markets. Even today, in some of the highest security facilities, the mindset hasn't changed. Low cost plus control equals the ideal meal. Food has always been more than sustenance in prisons. It's power. It's manipulation. It's punishment. What inmates do to survive. So how do inmates survive? Commissary hacks, ramen, honey buns, tuna mash, trading items for extra calories, cooking contraband meals, secret bartering networks, stealing ingredients from kitchens, former inmate Sky. You adapt or you starve. Everyone finds a way. Some cheat, some hustle, some make friends, some just tough it out. Some inmates have turned creativity into mini cultures. Ramen recipes passed down, cell ovens, secret seasoning clubs, underground dessert exchanges. Even in the worst conditions, survival requires ingenuity and a keen understanding of food politics, reforms, and the future of prison food. Despite decades of neglect, some prisons are experimenting with reforms, improved diets for diabetics and religious inmates, fresh fruit and vegetable programs, partnerships with local farms, culinary education programs that teach inmates to cook, vegan and vegetarian options. Dr. Grantham. Nutrition in prison is slowly getting attention, but change is slow and millions of inmates are still at risk. Some hope exists, but systemic barriers remain. Budget constraints, staff shortages, corrupt vendors, resistance to change. The shocking truth revealed. The truth about prison food is simple and horrifying. Meals are cheap, often unsafe, sometimes deadly, and almost always designed to control. For inmates, eating is never just eating. It's survival, it's negotiation, it's resistance, it's punishment. And until the system changes, nothing will improve. On-screen text. This is what no one wants you to see. Reflection and call to action. So the next time you sit down to a meal, remember this. Millions of Americans are locked away, eating food most of us wouldn't give to a stray dog, simply to survive another day. If this documentary shocked you, share, and subscribe. The stories inside prison walls must be seen. The injustices must be acknowledged. And maybe one day change can come.